Jacinta Ngobese. Jacinta, all right.
You'll be my friend.
And by the way, my name is Caesar Plus, I swear.
I swear.
Yes, most of the time there. But anyway, guys, especially Jacinta, I'm talking about this and that, in as far as life is concerned.
Yeah.
I need to Jacinta.
Always.
By the way, congratulations.
Thank you.
You can play out. Being a guy,
Right, it's such a great pleasure to be here. I've been seeing this podcast and it's doing the rounds, and I'm so excited. We'll see. Finally, I moved up in life to the point that I deserved an invitation.
Is it?
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm proud.
You made it.
I made it, Mama. I made it.
Especially Jacinta. By the way, Jacinta, show host your radio station.
Yes.
Radio station.
My fam.
Ukuthi i-radio ama-radio stations manje yazi asebuya angalaleli kahle nje isikhathi esiningi kubhizi abantu bayilalela bayibukela amafoni abantu babhizi nge-life yabo thola ukuthi ngiyancane ukulalela uJacinta waffling yabo.
I never waffle. But anyways, I know what you mean. There's a lot of options now. People have phones. They have everything is easy. It's on the phone. Podcasts. Affirmation. There's things that are trending that people would like to do on my Twitter and whatnot. But I mean, for me personally, I think radio will always play a major part. But it depends on the radio hosts and how the show is packaged. That's what will make people want to listen.
As mina ngendlela ngithanda ngayo i-radio ngivele ngijabule lo mkhuleko nomuntu close to i-radio. So do you think it's iyakhula or ishota phansi? Bengibuka isikhathi manje kodwa so Chili so Malindi kaNtuli.
We can't compare. I'll tell you why ngisikwazi ukucompare because at that time there wasn't a lot of competition, and also ngaleso sikhathi there wasn't social media a bit dictator ukuthi so and so ne following, so therefore that person deserves to be on radio. There kwakuyi-talent nje kuphela that was used as a measure of how well you'll do on radio, and also it was the fact that you would be breaking news, sometimes because I work on my social media to break news and then radio follows, because that seems to be the trend now. People on radio are not up to date. They take information from social media to put on radio and kind of...
But there's a concern of which I think is legitimate in a way. Yokuthi abasakazi abayibhodarishi nge-information eningi ufika eradioini ayikhulumele nje yakhuluma nje zifaka aba-respect abalaleli. Do you agree?
I wouldn't speak for all of them, but I do know I've heard that concern, and there is some truth to it.
It's valid though.
It's truth because like I said, I'll go back to social media. A lot of people base radio and popularity. Usmang Tandwa there on the social media streets means nala emsakazweni there's definitely, me being able to rock and have listeners. And I don't think it's the same. I've noticed with a lot of people who are actually big in terms of followers, even on TV, but when they come on radio, they're not good on the ear. They're not soft on the ear. They're not informed. They don't bother to be informed.
But is it a good thing to touch the so-called celebrities or abantu following is strong?
It's money.
So it's no longer about the listener.
The listener is part of the market that sells. So if the listener is the one that's popularizing certain fan base or people, then it means the listener now is also part of the problem, because uzobona, even with the content on TV, they'll say it's what the viewers want. It's what the listeners want. They want to hear these people. They want to see them. So for me, I think maybe it's just the way society is. We've become very money-driven. We've become very plastic. We've become very driven by fame and less about talent. So, I mean, it's even in the industry, most of them have been told get a social media following. It's the only way to kind of make it. So it's sad, but that's just the way it is.
But Jacinta, you'll undoubtedly agree with me. That thing is it tests you and it failed
dismally. Yeah.
By the so-called celebrities, like national radio stations, provincial, all the stuff, but they failed.
But does it stop the people who are in advertising and marketing from investing money? No, it doesn't. That's where the issue is. Because if I want a certain personality, because
so it's about business and the following.
It's a business.
No, it's fine.
It's a business. It's no longer about what you're listening to. It's more about you can give me this, I'll give you that. If you can give me the listeners, I'll give you the money. It's business.
Back to Jacinta. Now let's forget about your radio. It's fine. We can talk about your radio the whole day. No,
all day.
Jacinta, ukulele lokshit. The way of flow I'm not saying abantu baselokishini they don't do those things, but ukulele kuphi?
Yes. So this is my story. Ngazalelwe show. I think I left the show in Angina 1 or 2 and show.
So I was looking on the show.
Not really. That's the important part. And then from there, I moved to Gamash. Then from Gamash, that's where I went to school. From primary school, Greener Park. From there, at the time, yeah, I think, I think. Yeah, I think.
Multiracial school.
Yeah, it's mixed, multiracial. Okay. Then Gasengofunda in Joburg.
Okay.
Throughout high school. So that's basically my life. And I think Lentok Flower has nothing to do with Wakulela, because I know people who are Wakulela much but went to Ikolezara much, but they're like much dedicated to reading, it's and learning and teaching yourself. It's really about you and what you want, because if you give yourself time, because like reading books was a thing. You had to read books. You had to read books. Yes, you had to read books. It was important. Yeah, but read. Eskoleni though. Yes, eskoleni, funny enough. It was a thing to read. And I loved reading. Like I'm saying, reading was my life. Mangfika, read.
So manje kuphi Joburg, ne? And then taking
in high school. Yes, so I went to high school at Goli, and funny enough, mangfika, there's this idea Zulu girl eskoleni. Because I was from KZN, so there was a lot of stereotypes that I had to break.
What were you grade?
Kanjani? Grade 9.
Grade 9, okay. Yeah, I'll figure late.
So anyways, they used to call me Zulu girl, and Mango Zulu girl. I remember there were times they'd tell me Zulu, and they tell me to my face, Zulus have bad English. Zulus are not clever. Like, these are things that they tell me to my face, and I'd be like, okay, this is Msafiga, So I had to work hard to.
Can't you show stuff? Why
I don't even think it's that. I think it was the implying that we're violent. Yeah, so Shaka Zulu was that. That was the implying.
Was he though? Or it's just a myth?
Well, reading from the stories and watching.
No, propaganda. Okay, right? Propaganda.
Well, at the time, you can't say he was the only one. That was life back then. People used to fight for him. War was the order of the day. So it can't be attributed to Shaka Zulu only. He was just a brave warrior who went to fight.
Fighting that
was the thing around Leslie cards. Fighting for territory was Adolf Hitler started an entire war, like World War III. Like that was the thing. Fighting for territory, invading countries, taking over, claiming power. That was just how men wanted to grow their egos.
I think Hitler was.
No, Hitler was way worse.
I understand what Hitler bekhuluma babembiza ngani ngelidi fair. Uyabona bekhuluma kufanele ungenzi lutho. Kungaqhamuka something disturb stand still, because if uke wabonakala wenza leyo nto siphilile life.
Better. I think I watched a documentary where it was so cruel because it was actual videos of him, like people with disabilities. He hated them for some reason. So he took them and he would put them in gas chambers, kanje. Like they'd stand in a queue. So obviously some of them are mentally disturbed, physically disturbed, not disturbed, but physically challenged. So Abatatan put them in a room like this, open a gas chamber, and then they'd all die. And then that was his thing. He just hated people who had a disability. But we know him for lots of other things, Holocaust and World War III. He was he was interesting man.
yazi Jacinta nje ngik-invite-ile ukuthi usivakashele khona le perspective engiyidingayo yomuntu omusha ngangawe, understand le nto, especially kule simo sethu se-country, understand le nto, elections alominingi and
Interesting.
kule viki esiphuma kulona bekurejistela ukuvota, understand leyo nto. So izinto ezimnandi ezenzakalayo ngibona nale nto yokudevelopha yokublosoma kakhulu kwe-middle class, understand leyo nto kuleli zwe lethu, understand leyo nto. As young people benihleli ni-happy ngese-current situation, state of affairs ze-country at the present moment? Benihlangene mhlampe laphana yini lo mgaqo omkhulu osebona Florida Road nalaphana khona lo bunye ngibanjoza kabi futhi ongale ngawo sengikhohliwe.
Yo, I think I'm the most boring person in the world. I don't do all of those things.
You don't?
No.
Ngokushada nje.
No. I've always been, but I've always been that person. Like when but I go only mangisebenza like.
No, but let's go back to your question. Ukuthi niview kanjani i-life if uhleli nabangani bakhe whether esipanini, I mean your peers nje ukuthi manje angeke ngene that much kwi-politics, but I'm concerned ngendaba ye-economy, ngendaba ye-unemployment or ye-employment of young people, izinto eyi-affecta nina direct, understand leyo nto.
Do you know what the thing about politics in South Africa is? Politicians thrive from ignorance. So the more people don't see or don't see a better life, the more people don't read enough, the more people don't see better options, the more people are silent, the more they benefit. Because politics thrives in ignorance. And it doesn't.
Like question with somebody back.
Yeah, definitely. Because I mean, if you give me a food parcel and you tell me, Wutsi, this is what I deserve, you know, and you give me an RDP house and you tell me this is what I deserve. Obviously, this is what I thrive for. This is what I fight for. This is what I want. This is what I believe is the goal, right? But if people go and they get educated and they realize, no, man, this is not even close to what we're supposed to be getting. Like, why are we getting 2-room houses when we're supposed to be getting opportunities, education? We're supposed to be getting exposed to a proper education system that will allow me, I'm able to think outside of the circle that you've created for me. You know, our firstly, our education system doesn't allow anyone who to thrive and be an inventor and be a creator. You know, you go to China and the children in China are building cars at like 10 years old. They already know what discipline is. They know what's in Gelang or 10, Eskwele in Puma, go 3 or 2, whatever the time is. But within that time, I've learned how to make a phone, put a phone together. Here,
so education system is up to stress.
We don't have one.
Can you say
personally? We are being taught to be book dependent. We are not being taught to explore, to innovate, to change the world, to be global thinkers. Yonkinto yethu is like this. It's programmed. Education system yale go European go 19 wherever. You know what I mean?
So lezinto oyishoyo in a way engathi zi-disadvantage in a way kushuthi they work for ama-politicians.
It's the biggest disadvantage we have as a country, because look at what they're feeding people on television. Look at what people are watching on TV. Indaba will play for 30 minutes and then the rest of the day it's a whole lot of trash.
The middle class.
Do we still have a middle class?
If abantu abangekho gullible aba-challenge like the so-called middle class, these are clever blacks.
I feel like middle class is slowly dying, first of all. Either there's rich or there's poor in South Africa. We're at that point where we're either going to have extremely rich people or extremely poor people. People in the middle class, or what used to be the middle class, are slowly dying out now. You know, it's people who just have good English, you know, and what assets do you have to show for your good English? Because to be a middle class, you need assets, you need money, you need... Right now, people are taking back cars. People are losing their houses and living off less than the minimum wage, actually. You know, we're just getting by, most of us. We're stressed, we're depressed. you know, we had hopes and dreams.
Politicians ukuthi abesemgqeni or align nezinto ngempela ukuthi abantu badinga zona, because i-content yamanje it looks like ngathi bayashutha but bashutha endaweni wrong.
South African politicians are not open to criticism. First of all, once you criticize them, they box you as a certain person. Ukuthi oh lo cabangihlaniphile. Oh yes, you know, sizomfaka la, sizomvala, ngeke azawathola amathuba, try to shut them up. That's the only thing that they do. They do not take all these young minds that are out there and say, no, you can't do better, you should do better, and say, okay, guys, come together, let's hear you out, let's see what ideas can you bring to the table, you know, because there's people sitting there with ideas for days that can change things, but those ideas, the politician needs, most of them want to know, how do I benefit?
But
so what's the point?
I don't know what's involved in 20.
How do you involve yourself in something that you know is not gonna happen? Either it's that, or bazo enjoy the idea or concept, or they're gonna tell you what's hamba my channels are 57. There's so much red tape. Like it's not our country is not an environment that makes it easy for someone to no, it's not a tangible place to give ideas or share ideas or want to even, you know, it's just.
But in my platforms, Jacinta, my understanding, these there are different organizations. Like they practice like your DA. I'll assume which DA in abantu in an organization yabantu abasha. I'll assume ukuthi ANC ne organization yabantu abasha, your EFF bane organization yabantu abasha. Do you think abantu abasha bayayihlanganisa kanjalo ne-IFP, I think ne-Youth Brigade bayakwazi ukuthi bayihlanganise nalawo ma structures, because this thing starts at the branch level lapha ngasekhaya, but uthola abantu abasha abazi ukuthi what is happening because nabo abaphumi bayoyi.
But that's the problem. Why must everything be aligned to politicians and political groups and political parties?
No, I'm sorry to interject, but it's structures and South African civic organization. I'm a civic organization, Osanko, example.
But aren't those aligned to certain political parties?
My understanding, I'm
asking, are those not aligned to certain political parties?
If ever, that's where they go wrong.
Most of them are.
I don't think
most of them are. So you can't escape. It's like a round table. You're going around to go back around to political parties.
I agree. I'm just thinking not many.
If you find any.
But okay, for no black management forum, stuff like that. Ngiyakhumbula ngise schooling, bangine organization wathi ISEC. Yayidila efundisa ngento ethinta umnotho nje kakhulu, understand? Ingekho aligned to ama political formations ayekhona, understand?
Let me give you an example so that we cut the story short. There's radio stations, right? Radio stations are supposed to be independent entities, right? But a lot of them get government adverts, government funding, government this, government that. So therefore, what are the chances of me as a radio person expose a particular government department that also funds the radio or advertises here or does stuff here? Of me being allowed to do that freely and openly with no problems. Yet I'm dependent on this government entity to help the station survive. What are the chances?
So the element of censorship.
It's around. It's like I'm saying, you going around in circles. Either way, you go back to government.
So what do you suggest?
I suggest that the education system allows for better education so that people can be independent, come up with their own ideas, their concepts. The private sector will thrive, especially for a black child, because the people that own the economy are white people.
Why private sector in Bandarani? Because
it's owned by white people.
Exactly. That thing, or in the example, it affects a lot of things. Because I agree with you. Entirely agree with you, because this thing is frustration. It's frustrating. All the time we will have as a client, a government.
Yes.
Because it control.
Compromises.
And
yes.
Check out this thing cool. The private sector na ingxenye why ingayimbandakanya? Are we failing to control the private sector ukuthi ibambe iqhaza kule country?
Okay, I'll go back. I'll take sports, as an example. We have the national team, which is Bafana Bafana.
When they will be easy like rugby,
yeah, that's where I'm going. We've got Bafana Bafana here. We've got the Springboks here. The Springboks will almost never go short of sponsorship. Almost never.
Why?
Because, I mean, Springboks, it's a rugby team. Predominantly white people watch that rugby team. You know, I mean, it's got support from high up there, you know.
Who do you play?
No, I'm going there. Then we've got Bafana Bafana. Bafana Bafana. We can blame white people here, but here the Springboks, we've got 2 World Cups back to back. And then we've got Bafana Bafana, who are struggling to even get a qualification to AFCON. And every single time they're firing coaches, this and that and that. Now, Bafana Bafana is under SAFA. SAFA is under, I'm going to say this, I'm not going to censor myself, unfortunately, is under the leadership of Daniel Dan for how many years?
Elected by the people.
Please.
No, elected by the people, that's a fair.
We all know the system will allow him to be elected as many times as he wants. Daniel Dan is associated to a particular political party, having been a mayor for that political party. So getting him out is not going to be a child's play. So this man is aging very much. He knows he's got power. He knows he's got all the control, but it's affecting the national team. It's affecting the sponsorship.
But we ageist.
I'm not an ageist. It's got nothing to do with his age. But I said he's aging in that position. Remember, you can age in a position, but ungabi khona signs of lack of leadership. So if you are aging in a particular position and there are no signs of growth, in fact there are more problems, and it's got nothing to do with age, it's got everything to do with leadership.
But at the ultimate end, after the elections, it's the people have spoken.
No.
But we say leader, this first term, second term, you understand?
Please, we all know, Gusi, that system, it's like getting the same people to come and vote for you. Like if you're Caesar Plus and you know you've got your whole team of these people, and every year these are the same people that come back and these are the same people that are going to vote, come on.
I'm sure I will go happy on my results as Zimbabwe. My election.
Oh, Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe is another case on its own. I think there's so much going on there. And unfortunately, every single political decision that affects Zimbabwe ends up affecting South Africa. And I would have hoped that the IEC would have done better in terms of monitoring the election so that we're all comfortable with the results. Obviously, there was nothing that was a misdemeanor there. But I mean, if they say the results are free and fair, I can't speak for the people of Zimbabwe. What I always say is that
the people
of Zimbabwe need to go back to Zimbabwe and claim back their country and fight their own. Because it doesn't help them being here in South Africa and there's elections and they don't go and vote. Then they complain about the results. That doesn't make sense to me. If they have a problem with what's going on and they go home, vote, stay in your country, sort out the problems, and make Zimbabwe great again.
If you are about great.
Okay. It has been. When Zimbabwe was Rhodesia, it was one of the best countries in the world. Well, in Africa. No, Zimbabwe used to have the best education system. They used to have the best building, the best, like Zimbabwe used to be the it.
Let me check this thing. Are you going to vote?
Definitely.
You're going to vote?
There's no way I'm not voting.
Open secret?
There is no way. I'm not going to say who I'm voting for because I don't want to sound like I'm influencing people. But personally...
So seeing all these changes in the country, are compelled to vote?
Yeah, I don't have a choice.
Yeah, because
I want to at least know that I had a voice.
Okay, Jacinta, I understand ukuthi before mhlambe sivale. By the way, sihleli no Jacinta Ngobese we cruise lapha ku 9 to 12 wesinye seyiteshi sobuhlanga abadlisa abhali kaPort. No, it's fine. Jacinta, ngitshele uJacinta mina ngiyamazi emncane join ama radio station and all that stuff. Who's your favorite presenter?
Radio presenter?
Yeah.
Currently? Ooh, I've got quite a few.
Only 3. I'll
start with females. I love Anele. Yes, I like what she does. Who else? Female. We all love Dudu Koza. She's legend in the.
But you know, happy girl.
And just then, stop it.
Stop it, I like it.
I love Happy
Okay.
Girl as a DJ.
Okay.
She's my favorite.
Yeah.
And then as a radio DJ, who else? Female. I'll always love Bertha. Bertha Charuma
Bertha
will
Charuma.
always be my favorite. Love. She's on 2000.
2000 now?
Yeah.
Ah, I didn't know.
Yes, I love Bertha. And then male,
David Mashabel. I like him.
Not for me, but I'm a big fan of Alex Mtiane for obvious reasons. Very big fan of his. I think he's one of the most underrated. Yes, Usohlaza.
Okay.
And then I miss Fat Joe on radio. I love Fat Joe on radio. Always gives something interesting. And then who's the last
Jacinta with sometimes.
No, I can't count myself as a favorite. That's weird. That's like patting myself in the back and saying, "Woo, girl."
Because mina ngithanda wena manje eredweni manje wena ngibalela abanye abantu
no, it's fine. Now must be my favorites. I can't count myself as a favorite. No, that's weird. And then the last one, men. Oh gosh, man, who else? I love. Who else? Honestly, Sereten. Because I'm very particular about radio.
Okay, let's leave the track. Jacinta, Shatin.
On my way, yes.
On your way.
Yes.
All the best, ne?
Thank you.
Of
course.
Okay, no.
My children are my life. Like without them, I'm just like.
Relax, Jacinta, behind the mic and stuff. We are paying.
I cook. But I'm very good at cooking because my mom was a chef. So she taught me how to cook. But it's not something I say like, yay, I'm thrilled, I'm going to cook. No, absolutely not.
Messi?
Oh, Lionel Messi. Oh, God, don't get me all emotional. So, Messi, this is what happened. So I was going through a very rough time. Oh, but personally, okay, I used to be a Ronaldinho fan, right? I used to love Dino. I used to watch his videos on internet.
What happened?
So what happened? Like, he used to play. Like, if you watch Dino play football.
Sometimes.
No, listen. So Dino is like absolutely beautiful to watch, even his videos, because he used to do this series of Nike adverts, and then like every time they released the new advert, I was always there on the internet to watch it. So he was a Barcelona player at the time. I think it was 2008, and then he won the Ballon d'Or. And then he's like, then they said, like, you're the best player in the world. How do you feel? And he's like, I'm not even the best player in Barcelona. And there's this kid called Messi. And that's how he introduced Lionel Messi. And they're like, okay, who's this kid? And then watch Messi. At the time, I'm a Man United fan, by the way. So I love Cristiano Ronaldo because, I mean, he's the thing. And you know how European media can hype a person until I hype it. So I'm a Ronaldo fan. And then I watch this Messi and I'm like, no, man, this guy can't be real. Like, I watch him and then, and it just gets like, I can't even explain. I just get emotional when I talk about Messi because I can't explain the things that he did in football. And there's a time where I was really going through something, in life and just, and then every time it's like, YouTube, let me watch Messi. And then I'd watch his videos. My God, there's something godly about the way Messi plays football, right? It's not normal. Like,
I know, there's no such, but it's fine.
It's not normal. I can't explain it. Like, from the way he passes the ball to the way he receives the ball.
But to the way, South Africa.
He was. Listen, do you understand how much insurance Messi is? He's insured for millions. So he was not going to play Ipol serious and he risks the risk of getting injured. No, please. He manages the way he plays. Some understand the way. Let me finish about Messi. No. So when it's like people who want Messi now to run.
Messi or your husband.
I'm almost done, my husband. But Messi here we're talking about. So anyways, like there's something that he does, right? When he plays football. So he doesn't run. He walks.
Position.
he's a left wing, yeah. And then he walks, right? When he walks, I boog game, then and then he just makes one move, one move, and then move will create a goal. I was actually reading Marcelo. Marcelo is from Real Madrid. Adesh was
like, was it Brazil?
Yeah. So he was saying how they managed Messi. He'd be like, you don't make him angry, because when you make him angry, you like aggravate him worse. And angry Messi is like dangerous Messi. You don't want that. Like, when you saw the World Cup, you saw what happened with Netherlands, right? You saw what happened with France. Angry Messi is not a nice Messi, but we love him because he's like I don't understand anyone who watches football and doesn't like it's not normal. No normal football person who loves football cannot. Jesus Christ, have you seen the goals that Messi scores? He scores goals that.
Man, I support the Chiefs, by the way. The Chiefs is doing very well.
Oh, kind of.
Because just a Pirates.
Almost doesn't count Pirates.
Oh, just a Pirates. When was it? Let's speak.
Hear me out, guys. So, mangabe ukhuluma nomntwana. Athi ngikhuluma nomntwana. Lo mntwana una 9 years old. Uthi empilweni yakhe akaze sayibona iKaizer lifting trophy. That's it. Yeah, it's almost 10 years now. No trophy.
Jacinta, must we be kanjalo right?
No.
Let the boy nje ibiphethe aliyangana with respect. That comment was unnecessary. That comment was unnecessary.
But let me tell you, Mina, I must give it to you guys because you know a man who can support Kaizer Chiefs. Ngoba nguthu yabo umuntu ngathi lokhu ngiphume la ngikhethe bekezela. Phume la ngikhethe bekezela. That's a kind of man that can make a home stand. You know, Kaizer Chiefs.
By the way, guys, Jacinta Gomez. Owenza i-cruise 9-12
ama-home builders now ile type ibekezelayo ekwazi ukubamba umshado.
Yeah.
Yabo uthi nje ngisho ivunguvungu ifika kodwa next week sedlulile lusurathi uyangisupport futhi again as your wife.
Uzile sinocoach osabambile ongasabe ingozi.
Ubani kabi?
Ucoach wethu lo.
Coach wenu. Angithi nontseki nanisho njalo efika nje.
Asikazi.
Hayi mina ade ngifuna khona igame ade ngifuna ukudlala nishaye baka nishaye iplate nishayile nase nithi ngifuna iMan City. Ngiyanazi phela nina nincane. Mani yena wina nje ngifuna iMan City.
Yeah.
Lapho nganenzani Pep Guardiola ngampela ngathi ngizoshawa Pep Guardiola lights. Lo ngampela akanenzani. But ngiyayithanda London case, very optimistic people, positive all the time. Always. And still inside my stadiums, wasn't finished. Just coach. Kevin Johnson etasha kuthiwa isithombe sakho apply umsebenzi wokushaya abalandeli. Okay, I listen to hip hop.
Yeah.
Love hip hop. I love Kanye West, Andre 3000, Jay-Z, Rick Ross, Lil Wayne, Drake.
Rick Ross,
there's more to Rick Ross than that. You should listen to Rick Ross, like when he's like really.
I know.
Then I love gospel, I love R&B, yeah, and also I love gospel. I love some South African music, Afro pop, soul, yeah. Yeah, but yeah.
Yeah, that was Jacinta for you. Jacinta siyabonga ukuthi usivakashele yazi enjoy elinye side lakho.
Elinye.
Yeah, I didn't know ukuthi Jacinta iganga politics, ibhola uMessi, but bakulandela ngoMessi shame. By the way,
Ronaldo fans can't stand me.
All right.
Okay. But it's fine. I love them nonetheless because I get to talk about the Dubai Door and the Camel League these are things that I enjoy talking about.
Okay, no, sure. Next time, I think the first organizing the interview first, Jacinta, before the elections next year. Jacinta
before you leave, wait.
Elections.
No,
okay.
There's 14 million young people who haven't registered to vote, by the way. 14 million. That's a ridiculous number. So they need to go. They need to go register to vote.
But it's fine to be continued, ne?
Yeah.
No, sharp. Otherwise, we're going to Jacinta ngoba ngiyamthanda uJacinta kakhulu, and I'm glad to throw. Oh, nice. My goodness. Podcast affirmation. Keep on watching. Don't you dare do what I wouldn't do. If you do it, please take pictures. We out.